Lola, can you stop breathing? They're gonna hear you. Hey guys! So I actually started bullet journaling, which is kind of funny because I literally do not have a single bone of creativity in my body. If you don't know what bullet journaling is or what a bullet journal is, I will put a link in the description box down below to the creator of the bullet journals video. His name is Writer Carol, I believe. So go ahead and check that out if you don't know and are curious, because I don't want to waste too much time trying to explain it. But how I would define a bullet journal is basically a customizable planner and then some. Ever since I was a freshman in college, my life revolves around planners. I spend a lot of time on the internet trying to find the perfect planner because I am very, very picky. So when I came across bullet journaling, I fell in love because, you know, you can customize it to however you want it to look. It doesn't have to be nice, it doesn't have to be perfect, it just has to suit your needs basically, and all you need, as they say, is a pen and paper. It's as simple as that. As I said earlier, I have no creativity whatsoever. Even then, I'm proud of how my June and July spread turned out, even though everything you're about to see has literally been copied from some other YouTuber, so I really don't have the right to be making this video, but some ideas are my own. Being the psychology major that I am, I will provide links to whatever I stole whatever from, so no plagiarism. No matter how little, how big, cite your sources. Before we get into the voiceover, this isn't like a typical plan with me. I do almost everything with pencil first and then I go over it with like a pen or a marker or whatever, but even then I still find a way to mess up everything. So what I did was I set my July spread up first and then I'll just flip through it, talk about it, you know, say where I got certain inspirations from. So without further ado, let's get started. So this is my bullet journal. Sorry about my chubby fingers and my fingernails. I literally broke like 2 nails the other day. But anyways, this is my bullet journal. It is the Lutrum 1917, I believe. I'm not too sure of the name, like how to pronounce it, but I will put a link to it down below, as well as all of the other stationery items used in my bullet journal. If you have watched any bullet journal video in the past, then you're probably already familiar with this one, but I'll still go over the features really quick. So it has a strap to hold everything together. On the inside, there are dots as opposed to lines or grids, which I personally love because they're more discreet and they make it easier to draw lines and evenly space things out. In the back, there's this convenient little pocket, and then it has not one but 2 of these little bookmarky things. Going inside, we have the very first page, which is made for writing your name and address. And I haven't even written my name yet, so if this gets lost, I'm definitely screwed. And there's also an index, which I clearly haven't cared for, but I'm pretty sure the more I use this bullet journal, the more that this will be utilized. I know people usually show how they set up their bullet journals and everything, but this is literally all that I have before my June and July spread, and it is my future log. I stole this little flag thing from probably the biggest bullet journaler on YouTube, and the main reason I started a bullet journal. Her name is Amanda Rachel Lee, and I also stole as well as 80% of what you're about to see in this bullet journal. But anyways, my future log is color coded, and I haven't even finished filling it out yet because I'm waiting for school to start to get on my syllabi and add important dates from there. So yeah, that's really it. Also on this side as well. Jumping right into my June spread, I also stole this whole little read thing from another YouTuber and then just wrote June in faux calligraphy. It's as simple as that. I'm kind of going to go through everything really quickly because most of this is stolen from Amanda Rachel Lee and her videos are a billion times better. So a link to her channel will be in the description box below. But the first thing that I have is my monthly overview written as a list as opposed to a calendar view because I thought it'd be easier this way, and I was correct. Next to that is a list of video ideas, which is blurred out because I don't want to spoil anything that I have planned for the future. And then I just have a little calendar on the side, and then this weirdly shaped wreath with a quote inside it because I just had extra space to fill. And then underneath that is a YouTube growth tracker that Amanda Rach Lee puts in all of her monthly spreads, so I copied exactly how it looks, as well as these 2 mason jars. Also stealing from her these whole 2 pages. On this page, it's just a habit tracker and a mood tracker. Clearly, I'm excellent at maintaining good habits, especially exercising. And can you guys tell when I was on my period this month? I was hesitant to do these trackers, but I surprisingly like them both and managed to maintain them on a daily basis. It's very satisfying to fill in one of these squares at the end of the day, and the mood tracker makes me realize that I'm not as sad as I think I am. And my cousin actually showed me a quote that said, just because you have a bad day doesn't mean you have a bad life, or something like that. So this tracker kind of just reminds me that not every day is awful and that I do have a lot of good days. On this side is the expense tracker, and this is actually one of the main reasons I actually started a bullet journal, because I am constantly broke and am always wondering where my money went. So it's nice to have this to see why I'm so broke, and I also believe it'll help me not spend money on stupid stuff, but so far so not great. It's blurred, but my total earnings for this month turned out to be a negative number. Quickly going over the weekly spreads that I also stole. It's just a simple spread with a few designs every now and then. On this side, I have a section reserved for weekly events, which I personally found kind of useless, so I don't think I will be using this again. So yeah, I have this wreath down here with the word June written in Hangul, and then a drawing of a picture of a potted plant, and then this whole plants in a jar sticky note that I stole from Study with Inspo, I believe that's their name. You may notice that this weekly spread is the same as last, and I know many people change their weekly spreads to fit whatever week they'll have, or they just wanted to try something new, but I like having a uniform look for each month, so I decided to keep my weekly spreads consistent throughout the whole month and then change it the next month, or maybe keep it the same, just however I feel. Anyways, I just have some vines and then a to buy list for the month. Nothing really special for this week. For this week, I have yet again June written in faux calligraphy, and then I have a fake Polaroid. My original intention was to put a real Polaroid from brunch I had that day, but I ran out of film, so I just printed a picture I took from my Snapchat and drew a Polaroid, and I'm actually really happy with how it turned out. For this page, I just have those 2 sticky notes again. This one is kind of ugly, but I didn't feel like redoing it. A few weeks ago, I had Chinese food and ate 3 fortune cookies. I know I'm fat, but 2 of those 3 fortunes actually had to do with nature, and I was embarrassingly excited because I had this extra space and didn't know how to fill it, and then I got these 2 fortunes that just happened to fit with this month's theme. So yeah, excellent story, Christiane. For the last week, I drew these potted plants and wrote a quote about plants on top. Like, I literally Googled quotes about plants, but I ended up really liking this quote and its meaning. In this corner, I just have like a little section called Bops of the Month. I don't really like it, I just needed to fill in the space. But the first song is Don't Wanna Cry by 17, the second one is Signal by Twice, and the last one is Never from Produce 101. All K-pop songs, but I highly recommend you take a listen. The last thing for June is my monthly recap, which explains itself really. I just wrote about my month and whatever I felt was relevant to remember. Feel free to read it, but it'll probably end up being the most boring thing you'll ever read in your life. So right next to that is where July starts. So for my July spread, I did a city or skyline kind of theme because I am going to New York City this month, so I deemed it as very appropriate. This whole skyline thing is probably the only original thing in this bullet journal, and I'm kind of proud of it, except this one because it's a little crooked. But yeah, I just have that, and then July written behind it. Also very simple, just like last month's. The next page, I just have a monthly overview. I decided to give the whole calendar thing a try. Not a huge fan of it, but you never know until you try. And I tried it, so now I know. Connected to my title is the whole skyline thing again, which will appear a lot throughout this month. Underneath that is where I'll write all my video ideas, and then here is the YouTube growth tracker again, which I made too wide for my liking, but oh well. I know there's a ton of space down here. I still don't know how exactly I want to occupy the space, but if I decide to film another one of these next month, then I'll definitely be sure to show you guys how I fill the space, if at all. So this page is what I plan to pack for New York City. I know the S and the T are super ugly. I attempted to write it like 3 times and I eventually just gave up. But anyways, I saw one YouTuber have this in her bullet journal and I had to steal it because there's nothing that I hate more than forgetting something. So I thought this was perfect for me so that I know exactly what to bring for vacation as well as what to bring back. And on the bottom I have just printed out pictures of New York City and then the Statue of Liberty. Next to that is the expense tracker again, the exact same as last month. And then we have the habit and mood tracker again, also the same as last month, except this changed to a skyline to match the theme. This month I actually decided to add a sleep tracker because if you watch my 50 facts about me, you know that my sleeping schedule always gets messed up. Like right now I actually sleep at around 7 or 8 or even sometimes 9 in the morning, and my schedule also rotates around the clock all the time, so probably in a few weeks I'll be waking up at 9 a.m. instead of sleeping at that time. So I just wanted to see how and when my schedule changes and, you know, just keep track of my sleep. The very last thing that I'll be showing you guys is my weekly spread. I actually thought of this layout myself and I really like and am quite proud of it. It may be weird for some of you because I know it's weird for me that the dates on the right page are on the right hand side, but the reason I did that was because I wanted to do the whole word written in cursive and then have it flow into the skyline and then into the next word, if that makes any sense. But it's not as impractical as I thought it would be. Like, it doesn't really bother me at all and I really just like the look of it. Also ignored this fail drawing of a bird. I honestly forgot to erase that before I filmed. But again, I have all this extra space that I'm not sure how I want to fill in, but hopefully I'll figure something out. So that is all for my June and July spread. I hope you guys liked the video or found it at least slightly entertaining and maybe even inspiring, probably not. But again, links to where I stole certain things from and the items I use will be listed in the description box below. If you liked the video, please give it a thumbs up. If you want to see more in the future, please click the subscribe button down below and I'll see you guys soon. Bye! Love you! Or the extras for that video, sorry, the Filipino me just came out. And let's get started. I know, Lola, it's so lame. Let's get started. Oh my god, this is a mess. Hopefully one of those is okay.